Hello everyone. Let's start with a new chapter, that is chapter number 2 of economics, that is sectors of the Indian economy. Today in this video we will be doing the introduction of this chapter. So let's start. Look at all these pictures that are given on this page and observe them carefully. If you can see that these people are engaged in some or other kind of work or various type of economic activities, you can say. These economic activities help them to earn money. For example, in the first picture, the people are making bricks, one woman is selling clothes, women are harvesting cotton, there is this coolie who is carrying luggage, and then there is this postman who is delivering letters from door to door. Now you will find that these people are engaged in various types of economic activities, and even some of these activities are even producing goods. For example, in the brick making, bricks are being produced, then there is cotton that is being produced. So these activities are happening around us every minute as we speak. Now, how do we understand these activities? What takes us to understand these type of activities? And one way of doing it is to group them or classify them using some important criteria. So these groups are also called as sectors. Very importantly, again I will repeat that the grouping together of activities using some important criteria and classifying them into groups, where the groups are also called as sectors. So, there are many activities that are being done in our day to day life that are undertaken directly using the natural resources. For example, if we talk about the cultivation of cotton. So, cultivation of cotton takes place within a crop season, and the cultivation of cotton does not only depend on the natural factors like rainfall, sunshine, and climate, but also on other factors. Now, the product of this activity, that is cotton, it is a natural product. And similarly, if we take another case, that is in the case of an activity like dairy, that is dependent on the biological process of the animals, and also very importantly on the availability of the fodder, etc. Also, how healthy is the cow, that is also one of the factor on which the production of milk depends. Now the product here, that is milk, it is also a natural product. And similarly, talking about minerals and ores, that are also natural products. So when there is the production of a good by exploiting the natural resources, it is the activity of the primary sector. Okay, again I will repeat. In very simple language, you can understand it in this way, that whenever there is production of any good by exploiting the natural resources, that activity can be categorized into the activity of primary sector. Now, why it is so? This is because the goods that are produced in the primary sector are the forms of other products that are then subsequently made. Now, very importantly, the natural products that we get from agriculture, that is, or from dairy, or from fishing, forestry. So, this sector is also called as agriculture and related sector, because most of the products that we get are from agriculture, dairy, fishing, and forestry. That is why, again, I am repeating that primary sector is also known as agriculture and related sector. Now, moving on to the secondary sector. It covers activities in which the natural products are changed into other forms. For example, by manufacturing them, and by using these natural products to manufacture them and change their forms that are associated with the industrial activity. So certain kind of industrial activity is required to change the form of the natural product, and hence it is categorized into secondary sector. So it is the next step after the primary sector, and the product is not produced by nature, but it has to be made and it has to be processed in the factory or in the industry. Now some process of manufacturing is required to change the form of that natural product. So this could be done in a factory or in a workshop, or many a times at home also. For example, using cotton fiber from the plant and then spinning the yarn and weaving the cloth. And another example is using sugar cane as a raw material and then making sugar out of it or good. And also sometimes we convert earth into bricks and using bricks to then making houses and buildings. So this sector gradually became associated with different kind of industries and changing the natural product into the other form. And as this sector is related to the different kinds of industries, it is also called as industrial sector. So again, the secondary sector is also called as industrial sector because it is associated with different kinds of industries. Now, after the primary and the secondary sector, then comes the third sector, that is the tertiary sector. So, in tertiary sector, it is very different from the above two. Now, these activities which are included in the tertiary sector actually help in the development of primary and the secondary sectors. Now, these activities that are included in this sector are not related to production of goods, but they are an aid to support the production process. For example, if we talk about the goods that are produced in the primary and the secondary sector would need to be transported to some place. So the requirement for transportation, that is by trucks or by trains, or then they are being sold in wholesale or retail shops. So this transportation service comes under tertiary sector. So at times it may be necessary also to store these products in godown, and for that we may need to talk to others over telephone or send letter, hence communication. So communication also comes under tertiary sector. Now sometimes there is also for the production process or for the industrial process or for the manufacturing of the goods, there is often need to borrow money from the bank, which then helps in the production and trade. So all these services, that is transportation, storage, communication, banking and trade, these are some of the examples of the services that are included in the tertiary sector activities. Now these activities generate services rather than goods. So in this sector there is no production of goods, rather there is generation of services. So this tertiary sector is also known as service sector. So the primary sector, again we will repeat, is also called as agricultural and related sector. Secondary sector is also called as industrial sector as it is associated with different kinds of industries. And lastly, the tertiary sector is also called as service sector because it is involved in the generation of services. Now the service sector or the tertiary sector also includes some of the essential services that may not directly help in the production of goods. For example, we require teachers, doctors, and those who provide personal services such as washermen, barbers, cobblers, lawyers, and also the people who do administrative and accounting work. So, in recent time, there are certain new services that are also based on information technology, for example, such as internet cafes, ATM booths, call centers, software companies, etc. They all are very important. So, service sector or the tertiary sector also includes such kind of essential services. So, these essential services, which may not be related directly to the production of goods, but generally provide services to the general public, to the population, are all included in the tertiary sector or the service sector. So, children, that's all for today. We'll come back with the next video explaining the next topic. Thank you so much.